Shalawama, Shalawama. I'm DrYasapa from Zion Law School. Welcome. This is Astrotheology. This is the debriefing series that I have been doing. And the debriefing series is to complement that first 81, I think it's the first 82 series of astrotheology videos that I did, where I read every chapter and explained everything in the Devil's Pulpit. The free PDF is in the description area of this video, so make sure you download it and print it. All right. So this is the debriefing. This is supposed to be a call-in show. So if you are watching, feel free to call in. So I'm going to give a. Let me put the call-in number on the screen. I'm going to give a short presentation. Well, at least that's the idea. The idea is I'm supposed to give a short presentation, right? And then we're supposed to discuss it. But unfortunately, it hasn't been working that way. It's been me giving almost a lecture, and that's really not what I want to do, y'all. That's really not the purpose of this. So call in and let's have a discussion about the topic, all right? Okay, so let's get into it. First, let me say my thank yous to everyone who has been tuning in and watching this live stream presentation. We appreciate your taking in our content. So those of you who are supporting us either on our Cash App or PayPal, I want to say thank you. We appreciate your support very much. Those of you who have subscribed to the 101 Ancient Ibaryath course, which is our streaming online Ancient Ibaryath course, which actually teaches you when I say our, I mean our as in the house of Yasharallah, or what some people are calling the Israelites. This is our original language, okay? Not biblical Hebrew, not modern Hebrew, but ancient Ibaryath. So those of you who have subscribed to that streaming course, thanks. We appreciate your support. And that's definitely going to mark a point in your life where things change intellectually for you, and also in the way you think, in the way you read. And hopefully you'll make the decision to let those changes change your behavior and your outlook on life. All right. So we still offer that 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time free class for you. You get two on Saturdays. You're welcome to come for free. It's not going to cost you anything. You have to register and make sure you read the class description. Okay. Those of you who want to stay or enroll, of course, there is a tuition. All right, y'all. So I'm going to get the file open. Give me a second. Let people know that we are beginning the live stream. Okay. So can you reach out to people? Let them know that we are about to do this live stream, that we're getting started, or that we have started rather. And today we're on a new chapter. This is the chapter called The Temple. And this was back in my 20s. This was one of my favorite chapters or topics, right? That was when I was in Christianity, not knowing any better. Okay, just innocent and naive, to say the least. Innocent and naive. All right. So this is the chapter that we're on. This is on page 97. So let me show it on the screen, okay? All right, give me a second, y'all. Okay, so here we go. This is the chapter on the temple. Okay, I thought this was very interesting because the temple, as you're going to see, is a secret society. In today's world, it's a secret society, specifically the Knights Templar. But the question is why and how, right? Why and how? So this verse that this is coming from is out of the book of Jeremiah, chapter 4, verse 7. All right, so let me pull that up so we can read it, okay? Pull that up so we can read it. Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 7. So Jeremiah chapter 4, give me 1 second, y'all. We'll pull it up. And then we'll be in business. All right. 1 second. Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 7. So if you have a Bible, you can actually read along if you want. So here we go. All right. Jeremiah chapter 4. This looks like the NIV. So give me a second. Jeremiah chapter 4. Nope. Hold on, let me check this. Oh, Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 4. Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 4. Sorry about that. Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 4. All right. So let's see. So here we are, right here, y'all. Okay. It says, do not trust in deceptive words and say, quote, this is the temple of the capital Lord. So now when you see capital Lord, that is the tetragrammaton, right? So that's the tetragrammaton. So do not trust in the deceptive words and say, quote, this is the temple of the capital Lord, the temple of the capital Lord, the temple of the capital Lord. So it's repeated for emphasis, right? Emphasizing that it's the temple of the tetragrammaton. But Jeremiah is saying, don't be fooled by those words. Now you're going to see how you've been fooled by those words. All right. So that's what you're going to see. All right. So now let's get into this. So when you look at the first page in this chapter, which is page 97, you're going to see that they give you some etymology. All right. So everybody should take a look at the very first page. Okay, so you can get that etymology. It's going to talk about some Greek radicals. Okay, and you need to review that. It's also referencing a description of the New Jerusalem in Revelation chapter 22, chapter 21, rather, verse 22. All right, and that verse, Revelation 21, 22, offers us information or a key to understanding the solution to the issues that we're going to deal with. And this is how it reads, quote, and I saw no temple therein, for the capital Lord, capital God, and the Lamb are the temple. All right, so there's your clues. Okay, there are your clues. Okay, and we're trying to identify who is this temple, what is this temple. But since this is astrotheology class, you should know that everything has a physical or natural phenomena, right? It's usually going to be a star or a constellation. Why? Because this is astrotheology class. No, it's because the Gospels are a remix of natural phenomena. All right, that's what the Gospels are. The Gospels are telling the story of the sun as it goes through its orbit, its annual orbit. All right. So now let's continue. We're on page 98. All right, page 98. So here's the thing. So we've already identified that the temple is none other than the March vernal, the vernal equinox, which is in March, and the autumn equinox. See, that's the temple, right? Why? Because there's equal number of daylight hours to the number of nighttime hours. In other words, the length of the daylight is the same. The length of day is the same as the length of night. 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night. Right? This is equity. That's justice. That's righteousness. Remember, there is no inequity, right? There is no inequity at the equinoxes. That's the point. There is no inequity at the equinoxes. All right. Now that's the physical. That's physical equity, right? 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night. Physical, you can see it, right? It's concrete. You can see it. Okay. Is it clear? All right. So now the Gospels are a remix of natural phenomena, right? So what's the remix of the natural phenomena? The remix is this: equity. Equity as in equity courts. Y'all see that? Equity as in equity courts, right? Okay. See, it's abstract, right? These equity courts, or you can refer to it as what? Common law. Common law, right? Everybody see that? The remix there? Okay, equity courts, common law. That concept comes from astrology, which is the equinoxes, right? That's justice. Equal number of daylight hours, equal number of nighttime hours all over the world. All over the world, everybody on earth, they get an equal number of daylight hours and an equal number of nighttime hours. There is justice reigning throughout the earth. Y'all see it? Equal number, equinoxes. All right, so now that's the temple. So you have to keep that in mind. This is why the sun is referred to as the sun, the Son of Righteousness, right? The Son of Righteousness. And also what? The capital Lord, our righteousness. See, in other words, the sun is the source of sunlight. And we get 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night in March and in August, right? At the autumn equinox. So the vernal and the autumn equinoxes. All right, y'all? Okay, so let's move on. Now the author makes this point. He brings to our attention a Phoenician Hebrew word. Now you remember Ibaryath is a what? Ibaryath is Canaanite Phoenician. Ancient Ibaryath is Canaanite Phoenician. So let's pull this up. I want to show y'all. And I'm really going to stop this video early, right? Hopefully within 1 hour. I just have to be conscious, have to be aware of the time. And usually I lose track of time. So I want to not make this long, okay? So I'm referencing right now page 98. So you see where the author references these two Ibaryath words in the biblical or Hebrew script. Okay, y'all see that? These are Phoenician Hebrew words, and they mean the sun, the light. All right. So actually, I might do a word study on this in a separate video. Okay. All right. So the sun, and then this one is the light. All right. Everybody see that? Actually, this is really important stuff. Simple, but very important. It's very impactful. All right. It has a lot. It affects the meaning of a lot of things. That's what I'm trying to say to you. All right. These Ibaryath words are really, really important to know. Okay. They are really important to know. All right. So let's continue. All right. right, so let's continue. Now we're talking about the equinoxes, right? Those 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. So back at this time, the year began in March. In other words, the year began when the sun, as it sprang upward, ascended upward during winter, when it passed over the celestial equator. That's called springtime. And then that would happen according to the author, every 2,500 years, the zodiac sign would change. So for example, during Moses' time, the sun would pass over, coming from winter, the sun would spring forward, and as it ascended, it would pass over the celestial equator during the zodiac sign called Taurus, which is Taurus the bull. All right. And this explains why the Egyptians worshiped Apis the bull. The Indians worshiped the cow, right? Everybody should know that. And then what else? Also, when Moses came down from the mountain, he saw the Israelites. They had already made a golden calf, and they were worshiping it through their partying, right? Okay, so that was the zodiac sign that the sun each year passed over. Well, that was the zodiac sign when the Passover would come during Moses' time. But of course, that changed, right? That changed. And it goes backwards. It's called the precession of the equinoxes, but we're not going to get into that. Watch yesterday's video, or just do a simple YouTube search if you want to understand that. But anyway, I'm kind of getting off track. But the point I'm trying to make is that every year, back in that time, and from a physical point of view, okay, from a physical point of view or astronomical point of view, the year begins when the sun passes over the equator. All right. Now that's physically. So we as a people should our year should begin. We as a people. Actually, I'm talking about all the Moors, not just the house of Yasharallah, but all Moors. If you want to align yourself with nature, if you want to return to the Most High, your year should begin when the sun passes over the equator. This is going to be in what they call March in the West, all right, or at least in American English, March. This is your beginning of the year if you want to realign yourself with nature. Now remember, following the Most High's instructions at its essence is natural law. So return to the Most High. One of the first steps or easiest steps you can do is start your year when the sun passes over the equator in March. And this is where things begin to grow, right? All right, so let's leave it at that. Let me see where am I at? I kind of lost my spot. All right. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay, so there's some really, really important stuff y'all should read on page 98. I'm not going to go into it because I want to make the video easier to watch and shorter. So I'm going to leave out some of these details, okay? But you really should make sure you go back and read page 98, all right? Especially the last paragraph, all right? You're going to see reference to a covenant, all right? You'll see reference to a covenant, so you need to know what that covenant is. So if you've been here with us, you'll know that a covenant is what? A covenant is a constellation. A covenant is a constellation or a group, right? Everybody got that? A covenant or a group. Now there's a reference here to Baal, to Baal. That's the deity Baal. Baal Berith. All right, so y'all need to go back and read that because that's a compound word, and you will see that deity. You'll see the deity in September, October, November, and December. All right, so but you need to go and get the details yourself. I'm going to keep moving forward, but that's important for you to understand. All right, important for you to understand. Now that has reference to what? The SUN sun, right? It has reference to the SUN sun. Okay. All right. Now let's continue. Let's continue. Now remember, the topic is, quote, the temple of the capital Lord. All right. Now remember, the year begins at the vernal equinox. The vernal equinox. So what constellation is that in our day? Well, in our day, it's Aries, right? Which is the lamb of capital God. All right. So that's the temple, the holy temple. I think we talked about this in the live stream presentation yesterday, which would have been, I think, 15. All right. But anyway, go back and read that. So are y'all starting to see connections here? Are you starting to see how repetitive this is? All right. The lamb, the constellation Aries is the lamb of capital God. Okay, who is the lamb of capital God in the Gospels? Well, the remix of Aries, the lamb of capital God, is JC, the Christ figure in the Gospels. Y'all see that? That is the remix of the physical phenomena, the lamb of capital God, JC, the Christ figure, who does what? Who brings righteousness, who brings justice. Remember, there is no inequity found. He's free of sin. He's free of sin. What does that mean? That means that the only two times that there is an equal number where the length of the day is equal to the length of the night, that's 12 hours each. That only occurs on the vernal equinox and the autumn equinox. All other times of the year, there is what? Inequity. There is sin. There is unevenness. There is a uneven length of the number of night and daylight hours. All right. So the sunlight hours dominates March to September, and then nighttime dominates October through February. Everybody see how this is working together? All right. So it's getting more and more easy as you listen more and more, right? It's getting easier. Now, here comes the good stuff, okay? Now we're going to get into the discussion about the Knights Templar, about the secret society, the Knights Templar. And y'all should know that the Knights Templar, these are the people, excuse me, these are the people who wrote maritime law inside of the Catholic Church. I'm not saying they originated maritime law, but they put maritime law together as a doctrine in the Catholic Church. Y'all understanding what I'm trying to say to you? In other words, they had a lot to do, a whole lot to do, and this is my opinion, in the writing of the Gospels. In the writing of the Gospels. Okay? Y'all think about that. Why? Why is that? You're going to find out as we go through this topic. But just keep in mind, the Knights Templars, and the topic of this live stream is what? Coming from Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 4. The temple of the capital Lord, Knights Templar, or just Templars. Okay? Now we're talking about what? Justice. Vernal equinoxes represent justice, right? unwavering justice. There's no impartiality. There is absolutely no impartiality at the vernal equinoxes. You get 12 hours of daylight all over the world, and then 12 hours of night all over the world. Everybody gets the same thing. That's righteousness. That's justice. Well, the priest, the clergy, the clergymen who were responsible for this, for the Catholic Church, are the Knights Templars. These are those clergy members who were responsible for the study of law and equity. Y'all see the remix? Relate that back again to the physical phenomena, the constellations. All right. So these Catholics, these Knights Templars, they were the students and the teachers of law and equity and the administration of judgment between one man and his neighbor. Y'all see where I'm going with this? Okay. In other words, the judicial system, the injustice system, not just in the US, but in Britain, or even all over the world. All right. Y'all follow where I'm going? The so-called justice system was developed, is maintained, and supported by the Knights Templars. These are also the bankers, right? The bankers, when you do banking, you're dealing with what? You're dealing with law, right? Doing banking is dealing with law, and the books have to be balanced, right? The accounting has to be balanced. In other words, it has to be what? Justice, equity, equal. The debits and credits have to be equal, right? And if something is unequal, what do you know? Well, somebody stole something or something is missing. We got to find it. We can't find it. It was probably stolen. All right. Banking is business, justice, and law. Everybody see that? And this is what the Gospels are about. I hope y'all can see that. So the author in this paragraph, he gives you a lot of information dealing with the Aragopolis, which is called the Hill of Mars. Mars is a deity. That's the source, or the month of March gets its name from the deity of March. All right, so we have to keep that in mind. This is going to become important to us. All right, now y'all should know that the deity of Mars, according to the author, is the capital Lord of host in the Old Testament. In the Old Testament. So everybody should know that the capital Lord is the Tetragrammaton. And the Tetragrammaton is not the Most High. Everybody should know that. Capital God is not the Most High. All right? It is not. You should come to our Saturday 10 a.m. class to learn more. It's every Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a live online class, okay? But this is, let me make sure y'all can see my screen. Well, okay, good, you can see it. All right. So let me go back to it. Okay, so this is really, really important stuff, y'all. Why is this important? Because remember, if you are, give me a second. Let me check the live stream. Give me a second. See, if you have issues that you need to deal with in a court or in one of their venues that they call a court, this is the kind of stuff you need to understand. You need to understand the foundational or fundamental principles of law. Okay, and maritime law. So if you're out here just trying to send in paperwork, you're going to have big problems because you don't know anything. right? Even if you learn how to put together the writs, you still don't understand the foundational principles, and you're prone to misunderstand and make mistakes. Okay, and it can be costly. It can land you being locked up when you could have walked out had you taken the time to understand the basic fundamentals. I hope everybody understands that. Okay, so give me a second. Let me check to see if the live stream is okay. I should have done this earlier, but I forgot. So give me 1 second, y'all. It's okay. All right, yeah, we're good. We're good. All right. So let's continue. So I can't stress enough how important it is to make sure you understand the fundamentals. Okay, so if you understand that the Gospels uh, is maritime law, and make this connection too. The law that was given to us through Moses is natural law, right? It's natural law. The law coming in the New Testament is maritime law, all right? It's dealing with abstracts. It's dealing with abstracts and metaphors. Whereas the law that was given to us through Moses, and we can't even really call it law, it's just instructions, right? It's saying, learn how the universe works, learn the fundamental principles, and live your life according to them. Be guided by them. Be guided by them, right? Okay. So in other words, there are things that have substance, and you should be focused on those things. Whereas the New Testament is saying, well, we can just make stuff up, right? We can remix natural phenomena into what? Into maritime law. And we can pretty much do whatever we want to do because we're dealing with abstracts. All right, y'all see it? And then, but that's not to say that the New Testament is garbage. That's not to say that at all, because there's a lot of value in the New Testament. The point I'm trying to make is that there is a difference between what is natural law, and then there's a difference between what is abstract. So, for example, esoterically, the Christ is you, right? The Christ is you, and you're also the devil. Okay, there's polarity there, right? There's polarity there. So the esoteric meanings that you'll find in the New Testament have a great value, but they don't replace nature. That's the point. These are things that you should not base your life on. So you shouldn't base your life on maritime law. Why? Because it's abstract. But that's another story. But anyway, let's keep going. You know, when you're dealing with abstracts, people can easily lie, and you can easily be fooled, as you see, right? As you see, the gospel has a whole world fooled. Okay, why? Because you're dealing with abstracts. All right, so let's continue. So the author makes this really, really great point. He says that, oh, by the way, let me go back. I almost forgot about this. So the deities that deal with law are Castor. Let me repeat that. The natural phenomena represented by the deities of law and equity is Gemini, the twins, the two brothers. These deities are remixed into the deity Castor and Pollux. Castor and Pollux. And it is these two deities, Castor and Pollux, who preside over the administration and execution of justice. All right? So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Now, now we're going to get into the concrete into a concrete example of the proof or evidence of what the author is bringing to our attention. That concrete evidence is the temple. I believe it's St. Paul's temple. I tried to get some images of this, but I couldn't find anything worth showing. But there's a temple in London. Now, y'all will remember that London derives its name from the deities. There are three deities, right? London is a compound word. These three deities are El, that's E-L, On, that's O-N, and Dun, D-O-N. All right. Now you put that together, of course, that's London, but those deities mean what? It means the sun. You can get this information on page 98. On page 98, you can get that. All right. So it's right there for you. You can get it. So here we're dealing with the deity. Okay. So in the city of the capital God of the sun, the city London is named after the sun, the deity of the sun. Clear as day. Clear as day. London means the sun. All right. Okay, now there's a temple here in the sun. It's a building. It's called St. John's Cathedral, as far as what I can tell. So you can Google search Cathedral of the Sun, Church of the Sun, and see what you come up with. I came up with St. John's Cathedral. Now, here's the interesting part. The author brings this to our attention. He says that cathedral is dedicated to the Templars. That cathedral is dedicated to the Knights Templars. So that's one piece of evidence. The second piece of evidence is this. The author continues, and he says that the second piece of evidence is that there are emblematical figures. These would be statues, all right, on the western pediment. So y'all can check this yourself. I couldn't find anything. He writes, as on its, that's the cathedral that we're talking about, this temple. As on its western pediment, you shall see to this day, that was in 1830, are the emblematical figures, I guess these would be statues, of spring or hieroglyphs of spring, summer, and winter. Okay? Ridiculously, though, very carefully crafted, called Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Now note what's written. The author goes on to say, and in the tympanum, so that gives us our reference to the Gospels, right? And in the tympanum of that pediment, here's what it says. It says, it is an alto relief or hieroglyphical representation than which no written or engraven letters or words could more plainly, nay, could anything like so plainly have said, quote, note this quote on page 101. This is on page 101. Quote, this edifice is dedicated to the honor of the sun sun, end quote. So let me show y'all that. So here we're clearly dealing, this is on page 101. So y'all take a look at that. I highlighted it for you. Y'all see that? So here we are clearly dealing with the sun sun. All right. So it's clearly dealing with what? Nature. They got you in religion and in abstracts, but they're in the concrete world dealing with nature and natural law, masked in the Gospels. Everybody see that? Now here you can take a look. This is where you'll find El on Dawn. So El is the sun on the being, and dawn means the capital Lord. All right. So in other words, you have what? Let me show you where it's at here. You can read this yourself. Everybody see that? All right. The capital Lord, the being, the fire. All right. So y'all can check that yourself. We're going to keep on moving because let me check to see how long we've been doing this. Give me 1 second. So we're about 43 minutes into it. So we'll be wrapping up soon. All right, y'all. So this is really, really important stuff for those of you who are interested in studying law or learning law, and those of you who want to return to the Most High. Now, remember, the whole idea of this is to return to the Most High by learning natural law and living your life according to natural law, and what? Using natural law as a guide in your life. All right? As a guide in your life. That's the point. So break the God spell. Break the God spell. Learn what these gospels mean and make a conscious decision as to whether or not you're going to keep in Christianity or Hebrew Israelitism. You need to know what you believe and why, right? So learn this information and then make a conscious decision. That way you break the God spell. If you don't learn this information, you remain under the God spell. All right? You remain under the spell, under the incantation, under the charms of the words written in the Gospels. Okay? So now let's continue. What else is interesting? What else do I want to bring out about this? Actually, I think we can stop here. Other than I want to show y'all something, okay, since we have time. So here are the vernal equinoxes. So you can see March. Well, he has September here. Let me check this. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to figure out why he has that with September. Give me 1 minute. Let's take a look with why he has his vernal equinox with September. All right. So I'm going to pull up the image. Okay. Okay. So hold on. Zoom to fit. Okay. Autumn equinox. Yeah. September 23rd. Okay. So, excuse me, not March, but December. Okay. So the vernal equinoxes are in March and December. The book has, I think, March 25th. And I think it has September 29. I don't remember. Y'all have to go back and check. But for me personally, I go with what the author writes and not what I find on the internet. All right. So there are your vernal equinoxes. Okay. That's in real life, in the concrete world. Okay. The vernal equinoxes are where you will find justice. That means equal daylight, equal night all over the world. All right. So now let's go back to the document so I can show y'all so you can make some connections in your mind. Make this easier to understand for you. All right. So let me blow this up. I'm down here at the bottom of the page. Let me let me zoom in. Okay, look at the bottom of the page. I'm going to highlight it. Give me 1 second. So I'm here, y'all. I'm here in the footnote area. All right, y'all see that? I'm in the footnote area. There you go. So in June and December, so look at June and December. June, that's the summer equinox. The sun is at its zenith, right? June 21. December 21st, 22nd, that's the winter solstice, when the sun is at its lowest point in its orbit, so that will be in the south. Okay, and so in June 21st, that's the summer solstice when the sun is at its highest point in its orbit. That's called the Christ, right? The Christ, June 21st. The summer solstice. Winter solstice is December 21st, 22nd. The sun sun is called what? It's called Satan, the devil. Why? Because it's at the opposite end. Y'all see the line? So Christ is June. The sun is called Christ in June, and it's called Satan, the devil in December. Why is that? Because they're at opposite ends of the line, right? So that's where you get opposer and adversary. Everybody see that? It's really easy, right? Really, really easy. And then September, where's September? Okay, September 29th, that's the opening of the gates of hell. That's the opening of the gates of hell. And you see these, if you count these, there's 1, September is 1, October 2, November 3, December 4, January 5, September 6. So what do we have right here when we look at these? These are what? These are those 5 months that the scorpion was given to sting. The 5 months that the scorpion with the stings in his tail are able to hurt the earth. So these are the 5 gloomy, miserable, wintry months. Everybody see that? The 5 gloomy, wintry months. All right, we discussed that last time. So from March to September, if you do 12 minus 7, well, 12 minus 5, it leaves you 7. These are the seven summery months. The 7 summery months. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? So there's your astronomical correlations. All right. And so the sun reigns supreme in the summer, and the sun gets humiliated from October to February. The sun is humiliated. All right. Everybody see how that works? All right. So that's how that works. So that's a nice little summary. That's on page 101. Okay. Page 101. All right. So let me see what else is interesting here. So that's really about it, y'all, that I wanted to cover. Let me go back. The call-in number is 530-554-9419. So I got the number is open if y'all want to call in, or you can call in right now. So give me a second. Otherwise, we're gonna wrap it up. So I'll give y'all a second to see if anybody will call in. Otherwise, we're gonna wrap it up. So let me do my housekeeping. All right. So if you haven't already subscribed, be sure to subscribe to 101 Ancient Ibaryath. All right. This is our online streaming course. This is going to teach you Ancient Ibaryath, which is the language that Moses and our ancestors spoke. This is a Canaanite Phoenician language. Okay. This is a Canaanite Phoenician language. It is ancient, biblical Hebrew, modern Hebrew. These are not ancient. Okay. They have nothing to do with us. In fact, Jerimiah couldn't even understand this biblical Hebrew if you spoke it to him. He definitely couldn't read it because it didn't exist at his time. So when you consider that, Moses would surely know nothing about the script that's written in these Hebrew Bibles today. It would be something totally foreign to them. Y'all understand what I'm saying to you? Ours is Ancient Ibaryath. And so this is where you get it, zionlawschool.org. Click on course offerings. All right. Okay, so let me just say this last thing and then we will wrap it up. So if y'all want to support my work, I would really, really like for you to subscribe to the 101 Ancient Ibaryath course, support the promotion that we're doing with 911 Ibaryath Rescue. Okay, so order this book. This is what we're promoting, 911 Ibaryath Rescue. This is a complement to the 101 Ancient Ibaryath course. Okay, this is going to give you the ABCs of Ibaryath, what the ABCs mean. There's a lot to it. So this is a really, really amazing little book here. So y'all make sure y'all go ahead and order this. My Cash App, if you want to provide support through cash, my Cash App is, let me put it on the screen. Give me 1 second. My Cash App is $DrYasapa. Okay, so here it is right here. That's my Cash App, $DrYasapa, $DrYasapa, $DrYasapa. All right. And then, of course, the PayPal is paypal.me/Zion Law School. So we have other ways that you can support. Click in the description area of this video, and you're going to see a list of 7 books. There's a list of 7 books, okay? And you can purchase any of those 7 books. They all have to do with returning to the Most High by learning our language, which is Ancient Ibaryath. There's something I want to show y'all. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up. We have this great book that y'all should really get, and it's really, really inexpensive. It's only $9.99. But this is for visual learners, such as children, but also adults. Animals in the Bible. This is an incredible book right here. Y'all should really get this. Y'all should really, really get this book. Animals in the Bible. I don't know if they're going to show you everything in the preview, but let's see. You see the Ibaryath name? Okay, you can see how it's pronounced. So it gives you the name of the animals. They don't show you any. They don't show pictures inside the book, unfortunately. But this is a full color book, and it has the animals in the Bible and their name in Ibaryath, and then how to speak them in Ibaryath. All right. So this is a really, really good book. It's better than the other books that you'll find on Amazon. But don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Y'all check it yourself. Y'all can do it yourself. All right. You can check those. Compare what we have here with the animals in the Bible, other books. You won't see any Ancient Ibaryath. Hey, yo, excuse me. Boy, these people are so rude. They see me sitting here doing a live stream, and they're trying to overtalk me. Oh man, I got to get out of this hotel. All right, y'all. So that's it. That's it. That's all I got for you. Oh, y'all didn't even see the book. Oh well, it didn't show the book. Anyway, shalom, y'all.